nighttime gardening. I find that that's the best time for me. What do I have here? Large pot. It's a pretty good sized pot. But this is about as small a diameter as I want to go to place a rose in. And I have a rose here that I purchased quite recently, and I need to get it into a pot. And I think this will work for maybe a year. In about a year or two, it just continues to grow, and I want to move it up to a larger size pot. But I think in this first year, I think I can get this one rose to survive. What do we have? We have Harlow Carr. This is a David Austin rose, English rose breeder, one of my favorite rose breeders of all time, honestly. I've been a huge fan of David Austin roses for a very long time. So I want to take this beautiful, magnificent rose, and I want to put it into this pot. Let's get it planted. Why did I select this one when I recently went to the gardens, David Austin Rose Garden, a magnificent place. Got a video coming out on that, and a phenomenal abundance, absolute abundance of roses. And there were many roses planted in beds in large groupings, and there was one rose though that stood out. One rose stood out above all the others, and that was Harlow Carr. Not because I'm such a huge fan of pink roses, which pink is a beautiful rose. You can see it's multi-petaled, a beautiful rose. But I picked it because it had the most abundance of blooms. No other rose there had as many blooms on it, especially not of the Old English variety, had as many blooms as Harlow Carr. Some of the Ramblers, single petaled, had more, but this multi-petal, just really beautiful rose, there were not any other that I noticed that has many. It really stood out. It holds this pink color all the way through the life of the bloom. It doesn't really fade. A lot of rose petals, they fade out as the bloom gets older. This doesn't really fade. So when we get into this pot, David Austin also picked up this handy guide. This is a David Austin book, year 2025. Every year they put out one of these. There's a couple ways you can get them. You can order them off the website. You can get one when you purchase. If you ship, they'll ship to you. They'll ship these roses to you in the U.S. and they will ship them to you here in the U.K. So I've seen you can buy. I first fell in love with David Austin roses in the U.S. I live in the U.K. now, but you can get them in the U.S. just as easily as you can get them in the U.K. And this book is phenomenal if you're into roses. I picked this up at David Austin Rose Garden. I think it was just a couple pounds. Just a lot of details. Talks about the different types of roses, floribunda, rambling, where your placement, and then it goes into all the details of the roses that they create. Look at that. So all the David Austin roses, that's Penelope Lively, Strawberry Hill, and it gives you different colors, vibrance, just where those roses would fit in your garden. Companion plants, just a nice little guide. And then of course they're selling their products. So, but at the back, it just goes into great index of all the roses produced by David Austin Roses by color. That's phenomenal. So yeah, the pinks, you got those creamy off-whites, yellows. So if you just take a look at it, you can see the type of roses that David Austin breeds. If they're Old English roses, they have that multi-petal look for the most part, and that's why I like Harlow Carr, because it has that look about it as well. Now the new rose that they put out, new for the year 2025, is the King's Rose, which is a rose dedicated to King Charles. Let me see if I can find it for you real quick, because it's a pretty rose. It's not the normal color pattern that I see for David Austin, who does the multi-petaled, really pastel-y colors. The King's Rose is quite different. It is a semi-double rose. It is striped red, kind of a pink, reddish pink and white striped rose. So it's a very different rose. And I don't see it. I was hoping I could run across it. I was thinking it maybe would have been at the front. I must have missed it. But it's a nice rose. I didn't pick it up. It's not my favorite out of what David Austin breeds. And while I was at the garden, I happened to be there while the roses are in full bloom. A magnificent. Cole, how you doing? A magnificent rose garden. And I was really impressed with the rose garden. I always am. It's my second time there. So everything was in full bloom. I could see the roses at their best. Oh, I can't believe it. I can't find the rose for the King's Rose. And again, it's not my favorite. If I can find it here real quick. If not, I'll just move on. And we'll start getting this pot prepped up for this rose. Roses are beautiful. And for the money, if you think about the amount of blooms that a rose will give you over a growing season, especially if you get a reblooming rose, most of David Austin, definitely their newer roses are reblooming. If you get some of the older varieties, you would not get reblooming. Now, what does that reblooming mean? That means that at the beginning of the season, you get this big flush of petals, and they're absolutely beautiful. But they only bloom once, and then reblooming means that in the fall, this is old school roses, they only bloom once. In the fall, they'll bloom again. But most of David Austin's newer roses are reblooming. So, all right, just a great book here though. If you could get a chance to get your hands on this one, again, not very expensive. I really like Strawberry Hill. If you could see that one, that's a really nice rose. I didn't see it on display at the garden. They did have it for sale, but by that point I'd already made up my mind to get Harlow Carr, which is the one that I have. And it's not necessary to know all the names of roses. I mean, I'm learning the names, but you don't have to know all the names of roses. So if you just find ones that you like, pick the colors that you like, buy them, have them to your garden. This one is a really high from Nigeria. It's beautiful. This one's really dark foliage. Look how dark the leaves are. Foliage is like the leaves. You can see how dark those leaves are. So you get a great color contrast with those dark leaves and this really just aggressive, a vibrant pink, right? It's not a pale pastel pink. It's a very vibrant pink. Hope to get to go to Nigeria someday. Never been. Only been to Africa. One trip went to Namibia and South Africa, Cape Town, Joburg, but never Nigeria. So what I like to do with these roses when I put them in a pot, I have some compost, just a general compost. I like to start out with just a general compost, not a specific compost, because then I like to add my own amenities. This is a all-purpose continuous plant food, feeds up to 6 months. So we're gonna just sprinkle some of that in. We're gonna mix this in. It's kind of like a witch's brew, so to speak. Or you're baking a cake. You blend in some of that compost. You blend the compost, all-purpose fertilizer. This is mycorrhizal fungi. The fungus grows, attaches to the root hairs of the plant, and facilitates nutrient transport, and it also facilitates moisture uptake by the plant. So it just that symbiotic relationship between the fungus and the plant. The fungus helps the plant grow. I use 2 different types. I picked this up a couple years ago from Target. It's a pretty good one. I like that. But one I've been using a lot longer, indoors and outdoors. Still, mycorrhizal fungi. It's nice. And fungus is this one. Been using this for a couple of years. It's a nice one. I have found that when you add this, it does enhance plant growth. I've done a couple tests. Not scientific, of course, just anecdotal. And I don't see, there it is. One other thing I want to add in as I'm producing my mix here, and this is some perlite. I want to add that because perlite is really great for increasing the moisture retention, and it also allows for a bit more free drainage. It is a volcanic rock. It's really fine, but it really is great for moisture retention. So mix some of that in. It's a really light substance. Then you're just kind of mixing it all together. Oh, kind of dusty. Mixing that all together. I want to get a little more fertilizer in here. 6 months slow release. Slow release is really great because it won't burn your plants. All right, just mixing it all together. General compost, fertilizer, mycorrhizal fungi, perlite. You definitely want a pot that is going to be at least as deep as the pot that you're currently planting in. That's what it looks like. Wow, that perlite's dusty. But this is what it looks like, and you kind of see that. That's just what I have mixed up here. Oops. No, that's not a Gertrude Jekyll. That's Jekyll. This one. This is Harlow Car. That's what this one is on the thumbnail. Yeah, Harlow Car. They do appear somewhat similar, but I just think Harlow Car, smaller bloom, a little bit smaller bloom, not as deeply. The cup is not as deep, and it produces more blooms over the course of the year. Now, the only thing about it, if David Austin produces an abundance of roses. If you look at this right now, one of the things you can note is that the blooms are facing down, but not really pointing up. So if there's any drawback to this rose, is the fact that the rose doesn't, it's not the most strong stemmed. So as that bloom, see that drop? Beautiful roses though, beautiful. Queen of Sweden is another pink one. Let me see if I can find the book real quick. Queen of Sweden is a pink rose by David Austin. And it is really impressive because it grows in it grows very upright. It's a very upright standing pink rose. I don't know if I'll be able to find it in here, but it is one of my favorites as well. I think Queen of Sweden was probably the first David Austin rose that I ever bought. It is an incurved rose, nice petals. Queen of Sweden just really beautiful. They have so many in here, and I don't want to waste time looking for it. But Scepter's Isle, that's another nice one. Just they make some really great roses. I consider David Austin roses too. In my opinion, it's my favorite rose breeder. Followed very closely by Peterbilt's roses. But I can't find it, but they have all of these beautiful pinks. Look at that, that's one page of just pink roses. And then the next page is another page of just pink roses. And that's not even all of them. A prolific, yeah. Jermaine, you can't plant in a pot. That's what I'm gonna do. Now this pot that I'm planting it in, this is about as small a pot as I wanna go. I don't wanna pick it up now, it has those compost in it. But this is about as small a diameter pot as you could possibly put it in. Honestly, I want to go up with one size larger than this if I could. And if I were trying to put, say, 2 or 3 in the same pot, I would absolutely go larger than this. Now just kind of digging a center hole out here. I'll tell you this, one of the things when you buy these David Austin roses, or any rose for the most part, they give it to you in these really nice pots. But most of them have not been in a pot for very long. So when you start to take it out of the pot, you'll get a lot of compost falling off of it. That's what I anticipate is going to happen here. That is, I start to take this out, and y'all may want to put on some gloves because I tell you what, I'm looking at this one, and it is absolutely drenched in thorns. Not every, that paralyzed is getting to me. Not every rose has as many thorns as this one. Give me a second. Let me get a pair of gloves because I don't want to tear my hands up with this one. Yeah, I have some fire gloves over here. Okay, so yeah, this one is absolutely drenched in thorns. When I say drenched in thorns, it's going to be kind of hard to show you on camera, but I mean it is covered in thorns, and to repot it I have to get a little handsy with it, and I really would rather not end up with thorns. These are my fire gloves, but yeah, I don't know if you can get a good look at that, but wow, I mean look at them on the thorns. There's just thorns all over this, so I'm looking at the base of it and it's just covered in thorns. Real simple. I just kind of tilt it to the side, little pat on the bottom. That's going to be a mess to clean up. Just kind of squeeze it here. Look at this slide. It's going to slide right up, but I think it's going to, okay. It's holding together better than I thought. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. That's exactly what you want to throw that down. It's not root bound, but it's a great growth. So a lot of times when you buy them like this, all this compost would fall away because it hasn't been in a pot very long, so it's not deeply rooted. But this plant, You can see those white roots down on the bottom. That's really, really great growth. Looks good. The roots look healthy. And I may just want to tease those just a little bit on the bottom to break them up because I don't want them to grow in a spiral. So just a little, not too much, right? I see there's a little bit of compost in there. But just kind of tease that just a little bit, break that up just a little bit, and then I'm going straight into the pot right there, and then it's back down around the side with the compost, which I kind of pushed up. And it's, I didn't mention it, this is a very fragrant rose. Very fragrant. And I have it in my, in the conservatory here, and it's been here for about 2 or 3 days. And after that first day, I came in this room, and this room just smelled like a rose perfume. That's how fragrant this rose is. It's a wonderfully fragrant rose. It's beautiful in coloration. Again, pink's not my favorite. If I had to pick, I have a purple rose from Peterbilt's. I love the purple because it's different. I have an orange rose, another from Peterbilt's. Peterbilt roses are more vibrantly colored. David Austin roses, think more pastels, Old English roses. Peterbilt's breeds a more vibrant color. Now, David Austin has some vibrancy, right? I don't want to say that imply that they don't have some roses that are pretty vibrant, but Peterbilt's is more vibrant. So I have a couple of very vibrantly purple colored rose. I saw some great ones yesterday, David Austin area. But this pink rose, when I saw it in mass, I said, wow, this is just, when you have multiple of these, 5, 6, 7 plants. Now, 5, 6, 7 plants, it's gonna be pricey. This one was 35 pounds. That's one plant. It's pretty pricey. But when you think about the amount of roses that you get over the course of just 1 year, and the rose bush is gonna get bigger, come back year after year after year. You have 3 David Austin roses trained against a wall. Graham Thomas, Claire Austin. Claire Austin is a white one? Yeah. Oh, that's gonna be, now Graham Thomas, I'd have to look up, what color is that Graham Thomas? I'm trying to think of the color. Claire Austin is a creamy off-white color, the pink. I'm not sure, but that sounds phenomenal if you haven't trained against the wall. I have a couple of the David Austin roses here in a pot, and I have a video that's gonna be coming out. I'm not sure when the video is gonna come out. Yellow. So you have a yellow, a white, and a pink. That is phenomenal. Your succulents are losing their leaves. Uh-oh. Now, how often are you watering your succulents, and how much sunlight are you giving them? There's 2 things about succulents. One, it's kind of tricky, right? Water the succulents, don't over the water the succulents. That's one. 2, and where most people tend to fall down with the succulents is, are you giving it enough light? If you think about a lot of succulents, not all, but a lot of them come from arid conditions, really sunny locations. I'm looking around trying to see which succulents I have here. I have something. Let me show you real quick. These are not the only 2 that I have. I have a lot of others. But this little guy right here was nowhere near this size when I bought it. I mean, it's like a little thing. It was like that. But this sits directly under a very powerful grow light. The light's like right here. The whole time, the light has been right here. So a key thing about the succulent is it getting enough sunlight? They need a lot of sunlight. The succulent that sits right beside that one is this one. And this guy's just going all kind of bananas. I need to repot it. And they were both tiny little sprigs. This is a semi-hydroponic pot. The pot's cool, but this is just tripled in size. And it was nowhere near this large. So it's really large. It's done really well here. Hold on, let me put it back. But this one, absolutely bananas. Look, there's still new shoots. You see, new shoots coming up right here. What am I trying to say? I'm just pointing out the semi-hydroponic pots controls the amount of moisture that the plant receives. I keep it where at a pretty high level of more water on that, but it's the light that I think is the biggest difference. And then the name of the succulent would definitely help. So this one's pretty good. I'll put that back in a bit. I grow some succulents. I have a section carnivorous plants. I have a few cactus and succulents. I don't have the most though. It's not what I grow in great abundance. But the ones that I have under the grow lights have done really, really well. I have some sitting in a windowsill and they haven't done anywhere near as well. I even have one here. Well, I have an aloe back there. And if you can see behind me, one of those grow lights is pointing straight down onto an aloe, and that aloe has doubled or tripled in size. It's one of those, back against the wall right there. And I keep a tremendous amount of light on all of my succulents. So think about it, lighting, it's uh-oh. Live in Florida? Turn the light in Florida. No, this is not a snake plant. Darn it, what is the name of this one? It is eluding me right now. I don't know why I can't think of it. It's not a snake plant. I have a snake plant. Here's my snake plant. So it's doing okay. It's not doing gangbusters, but here's my snake plant. Darn it! I have to label. I should label this one. I have to look up the name of this. Darn it! I can't think of the name of it right now. I don't know why it's eluding me. It'll come back to me later on. But it's happy. I mean, you can tell. Look at the growth. And look at this one. it's all the way out here. This is a very happy plant, and it's definitely time to move it up to a larger pot because I'm looking at it's sending up new shoots right now. But yeah, really happy plant. Really happy plant. That's the key to have, again, without knowing much more about the succulents. Oh yeah, oh this sounds like some really good. I love aloe. I have a really small one over here, and I got it because it's this striped color, like this little guy right here, because it has those, that it's not even variegated. It's just striped, but it's growing slower, and I don't have a grow light sitting directly over it. I bet if I put a grow light directly over it, it would grow twice as fast. It is growing though. It's doing okay. This room gets a lot of light during the day, but I do supplement with the grow lights, and these are on 6 to 8 hours. They kind of go on at sundown and give that extra little bump. And in the wintertime, they're absolutely a requirement here for me to keep all these tropicals going. For the most part, that's everything that I want to do with this rose. Of course, I need to water it in. It's freshly repotted. I don't put a lot of mulch. I'm not going to put any mulch in it. I may add a bit more compost. It's about an inch. The compost level is about an inch below where I want it to be. Just add a little more compost and get this up to about where I want it. So yeah, I toured David Austin Roses. I have a video on the channel from it says a year, but it's about 2 years ago. I went to David Austin, and it was in August, and there were a lot of flowers blowing, but this time I went quite recently, and everything was in full bloom. I had to cut it a little short because it started raining on me. I got rained out, and I hung out there in the rain for a while. I was filming, and my cameras really are not waterproof. So at some point, I was take the camera out, film for a little while, took the camera in my jacket. My jacket finally got drenched, and I just had to, had to call it a day. And so it ran me out of there. I went and picked up this Harlow card, and yeah, that's good. And then headed back. But that video will be coming out on the channel. Right now, I'm about to do a lot of traveling, heading back to the U.S. And so I won't be able to do as much as I'd like. I'm going to be releasing videos on the channel. I'm going to try to continue to go live, but I'm definitely going to release videos. Right now I have it set up on Sundays to release a video. If I get a bit of space and time, I'll be releasing on like Thursday and Sunday, just to try to get some more videos out. I want to get those. I have Peterbilt's and David Austin, both of those I've toured this year. I got to see both displays also at Chelsea earlier this year, Chelsea Flower Show, which is the preeminent, like the absolute best flower show in the world is Chelsea. If you've never been, it's expensive. But I have a video on the channel, a couple, actually more than a couple, videos on the channel from my experience at Chelsea. Chelsea was really gay, really great. It was really good. This was my first time at Chelsea. I've gone to a lot of flower shows before. The Malvern Flower Show, come to Dallas Spring and Autumn Flower Show, Shrewsbury Flower Show, Harrogate Flower Show. But this was my first time at Chelsea, and it is the cream of the crop. Like it is top tier. You can tell that the very best was brought out there. The other flower shows are, some of them are larger and have more things for sale. You know, you're going to Chelsea to see more than to buy. Although there are a few things for sale. There are a few plants. I picked up. Well, I'll show you just real quick. It'll be blowing here pretty soon. I picked up this hibiscus at Chelsea, and I took it out. And I didn't even know when I first took it out. The little bloom head was like right there, and so now you can see how tall this is. This is gonna bloom probably next week. Based on what I'm thinking by the end of next week, I can see those petals in there, they're forming. And I bought this one because it is orange. So this is a hibiscus, typically commonly called amaryllis. And I called them amaryllis for years, but I'm trying to use the proper form. Oh yeah, the South African display was phenomenal. And then to have the opportunity to speak with the designer of South Africa, the South African display, that display was, wow, it was such a large display as well. The fact that they flew in, I think it's 25,000 plants, everything was sitting in water, but you couldn't see it. It was properly designed. I've been to Cape Town, I've seen those plants in the wild. It was a perfect display. And then to be able to talk to the designer, he gave me a great interview. I would say, hey, can you have a couple minutes? And he's like, come over here. And he took me to the front of the display and walked me through the whole thing. And that was really exciting. So I really appreciated him, Leon, taking the time to kind of just share his thoughts and his experience on the details. And so that was really great for me. A wonderful experience. So Chelsea was good. I liked it. I actually went 2 days to Chelsea, which was pretty pricey. I won't even lie to you. I went the first day and I did a lot of filming, did some interviews, talked to some people, and then I realized, came home, looked at the footage and said, I don't have enough footage. And I do, right there on the floor. The poor plant has been, it's been neglected. Ducky, it's been neglected. I was going to repot that plant 6-7 months ago, and every time, and it's just right there on the floor, being neglected, but growing and tripling in size and just doing really great. Yeah, the goat. Yeah, this little guy right here. I have been meaning to repot this because this is the little pot that I bought it in. And I've been meaning to repot this for months, at least 6 months. At least 6 months. Every time something else comes up. But look at it. It's doing good. It's really shiny and it's that chartreuse color, that chartreuse golden color. It's healthy. And so I step around it, I walk around it, I haven't stepped on it. The kids don't bother it. It's doing really great, but it really needs to be in this pot. And because I'm gonna be traveling, I'm gonna be gone for a while. Everything that's on the floor, I will have to get into a pot before I leave. So this is gonna have to go into a semi-hydroponic pot to make sure it stays watered while I'm away. I can't just leave it like that. But yes, look at that. Does really great. Super easy to grow. When I say this plant has been absolutely neglected, I mean completely neglected. Every once in a while I think, oh, let me water it. And I water it, and aside from that, it just sits there and it grows. And it doesn't require anything. It gets a little bit of water, a tinge of fertilizer. I don't even see any fertilizer on this. This thing it's just doing its own thing. But it's a really great plant, and they're not very hard to take care of. Some of these plants are finicky. This one is absolutely not finicky at all. Yeah, but I'm gonna get a rewater. I'm gonna water it. It's a beautiful plant. I'm surprised you're able to see it growing in the background there. But yeah, I like that one. But yeah, Chelsea was great. Chelsea was a wonderful experience, and I want to go now to catch the next year if I can. I would like to catch the flower show in the U.S. It's a Philadelphia flower show. I get my fertilizer from B&Q. Now this Circle Grow, this stuff here came from the U.S. But the one that I really like is this one, B&Q. And let me tell you why I like this one. I like this one more than the Miracle Grow, to be honest with you. I should have used this one because this one is like a multivitamin. It has the big three, right? Nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium. It has that in there, but it also has magnesium, boron, zinc, in small trace amounts because plants need, just like humans need, the macronutrients, but you also need those little micronutrients. So in very small amounts, the plants really benefit from getting magnesium, zinc, boron. What else is it? I don't know. Maybe a little, just a tinge of copper in here. I can't read them all, but yeah, it is copper, iron, magnesium, zinc, several different types of nitrogen, and then it's slow release 6 month feed. To me, perfect. Feeding a plant 6 months and then get all those macronutrients and the elements that it doesn't need, the plant doesn't need in great abundance, but it's all right there. Just sprinkle, 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 get a little bit. But yeah, B&Q is where I pick up my fertilizers. Now of course, you can buy rose specific fertilizers. David Austin sells a fertilizer. You can buy their fertilizer. David Austin sells a mycorrhizal fungi. You can buy their fungus if you want to. Their mycorrhizal, you can buy that. They sell it on the website, and you can buy it with the roses. No problem. Even if you buy the roses somewhere else, you can still go to their website and pick it up. And so, of course, I'm pretty sure it's perfectly blended for the best optimal growth. But I don't go that far with it. This is just what I use. This is what I use on all my indoor plants. This is what I use on my outdoor plants. This is my favorite fertilizer. I'm not like promoting this brand. I'm just telling you I like what's in it. And then the Miracle Grow, I'm just again all-purpose 6 month, and it has not as many things in it. It's mostly just focused on the big three: nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium. Different combinations of that. A little bit of boron, a little total, yeah, a little bit in here, right? Just not as much. I've not gone to the Pacific Northwest show in Seattle. I will have to look that one up. That may be one worth flying out to. I haven't. I've been able to see some really unique plants out there that I don't normally come into contact with. I don't spend much time on that side of the country. I'm usually in between like the UK and the East Coast, or UK and the South, American South. I haven't spent more time like Seattle. That would probably be a beautiful show. I'll look that one up. Honestly, I didn't even know about it. I have to look that one up. That sounds like a great show. Yeah, I definitely will look into it. Have you attended the one in Seattle? Because it sounds really cool. I didn't. You just educated me. This one's going over. Just gonna take that off. I don't tend to do a tremendous amount of deadheading. I actually like rose hips, and so I don't deadhead because I like rose hips, and I've been doing a bit of floral designing, and rose hips. They just kind of go great with your florals, and yeah, I don't mind the rose hips on the plant, so I don't mind. But then I do cut those rose hips off once we're fully, before the plant really kind of really comes back. I cut those rose hips off. After putting it back, make sure they're all off the plant. Oh, you're in Cape Town. Okay, I love Cape Town. You're in one of the places that if I could disappear to any place in the world, Cape Town is absolutely where I go. So flew down to Cape Town. We were in Namibia for like a week and a half, and then we left there. We flew to Cape Town, and I was shocked. Never been in Cape Town, South Africa before. Didn't know that it would be as beautiful as it is, as modern or advanced as it is. Because we went to the beach. The first day we couldn't check to our hotel. We were in a beautiful Marriott there, Marriott Protea. It was nice. Couldn't check in, and so we went to the beach. And then like right across the beach from us was a Starbucks. And when I got some coffee, and it's like, this is really nice. Spent the next 3 days, 3 to 4 days in Cape Town. What is it? DNW, the waterfront. It's DNW. I'm not sure if I got the letters right, but that little waterfront area down there in Cape Town, that is really a great shopping area. Down on the Cape Peninsula, went to Cape of Good Hope, went to see the penguins, which was it the Boulders Beach, the penguins down there. VNA, that's it, not DNW. VNA, that's it. The waterfront area down there, that's really nice. I can't remember the name of it. Canal. I'm getting all the names wrong. It's been a few years since it's been a few years since I've been there, but I really enjoyed Cape Town, and that's one on my bucket list. Boulders Beach. That's where the penguins are. That was really cool. They had Hyrex down there as well. I never seen one of those until I got there. As you can hear, I'm very excited about it because I really enjoyed that trip. And I think, and then it's on the other side. Saw guys out there surfing. Just really impressed. I'm like, wow, this is a great place. Went to a couple great restaurants, great food, and they had a cider down there that I absolutely fell in love with, and it still sits at the top tier. Savannah Dry. Is that the right name? Is that the right name for that cider you guys have down there? Yeah, I think it's Savannah. Yeah, it's a great cider. I'm a cider guy, and I was like, man, I could disappear to Cape Town and like had one last week. Jealous. I could disappear to Cape Town. It's a beautiful place. And then those houses though, they go like way up, kind of heading up. I guess kind of up. Now, I don't know if they is mountain, but like up the mountainside. Those houses get pretty crazy. It gets pretty steep. I digress. Cape Town, I love where you live. I love it. I love it. I love it. Absolutely. Can't wait to go back. My bucket list is to take my kids to repeat the trip, go do safari in Namibia, take my kids to Cape Town, do the everything. We couldn't go up a Table Mountain because the trolley, the cable cars that take you to the top was down, and I wasn't going to climb it. I wasn't, I'm not going to do that. We also did a lot of hiking in Namibia, so I was like, nope, not doing that. But I want to take the kids to the top of Table Mountain, go back down, repeat that whole trip with the kids, my wife and I. I think it'd be great. But hey guys, this has been a phenomenal live. David Austin roses, again, they sell them in the US. Jermaine, are they selling David Austin roses? You say you're in Cape Town. You mentioned the ones you have. I know they sell them in the US. I know you can get them here in the UK, of course. Can you get David Austin roses in South Africa? If you can, that would be really, really phenomenal. You mentioned that you had some. But yeah, I would love to be able to get some Protea. And I'm trying to find a wholesaler. I'm going to go to a wholesaler in the morning. Ludwig sells David Austin. That is phenomenal. That's really cool. I want to go to wholesale in the morning and I want to try to give me some Protea because I just think that absolutely such a unique flower in the bloom. And I want to see how long they hold because it looks like a really stiff bloom. And I would think that it would last for quite a while in the vase. I think it would do really well. But I have to wait and see, find out for myself. I'm going in the morning. I'm going to go over in Birmingham and pick up a lot of different cut flowers and some cool things. Do a couple floral bouquets, throw it up on the channel, and just kind of keep moving forward. I appreciate you guys, everyone who's hung out with me here. David Austin Roses, check those out. And I'll keep going and growing. And yeah, I'm going to be traveling back in the U.S., so you see me pop up doing things. If it's going to be gardening, it'll be from the U.S. My mother has me scheduled sometime next month to do some gardening in her yard. Going to be planting a lot of daylilies, hermicallis. So yeah, just a lot more growing and growing going on. So yeah, look forward to it. And I appreciate everyone who's hung out with me. Okay, that's it. Take care.